Okay, class, here we have some homework examples from section 2.3 on symmetry in triangles, and the main idea here is base angles of isosceles triangle. We have all the other tools available to us from before, and so we'll go ahead and use those also to make our plan. This first one we have is find the measure of angle x. So we're going to find the measure of angle x. X is right here. And we're going to see, okay, inspect our figure and make our plan. The things that we have on our figure is that we have this angle right here is 50 degrees, and we have these two marks here on a triangle. Okay, so of course we're going to use base angles of isosceles triangle or equilateral triangle because that's what our new properties are. And when we use base angles of isosceles triangle, we can show that the two base angles are the same measure. Okay, so first we need to assume that angle BAC, this angle BAC, is something else besides x. Let's say A. Okay, we assume that that's different, but we can prove that it is, or deduce that it is the same as x using the base angles. So we're going to first say in our scratch work, in our plan, we can say that A is equal to x from base angles. Now, if we knew that those were the same measure, how would that help us? Well, we know that we have two of the angles in a triangle. We just need this one right here. Now, and we can use our angle sum of triangle if we knew that one. Well, we actually have that one. We're going to call that one angle B is equal to 50 degrees because of vertical angles with this 50 degrees right here. Okay. Okay, and when we do that, we can now add 50 degrees plus x and set that equal to 180 from angle sum of triangle. Okay, so let's go ahead and formulate that into our teacher solution. The first thing that we want to show is that we could start with angle A here, or we can start with angle B. So let's go ahead and just say that angle A is equal to x. From base angles of isosceles triangle. Okay. Now we can use that angle as x from now on. We also need to say that B is equal to 50 degrees next, because we need to have this as a value before we use angle sum of triangle. Okay. B is equal to 50 degrees from vertical angles. Now we can say that x plus 50 degrees is equal to 180 degrees. Notice that I'm using angle sum of triangle as a sum. Okay. And when we add those together, we get 2x plus 50 degrees is equal to 180 degrees. Subtract 50 degrees from both sides, and we have 2x is equal to 30 degrees, 130 degrees. When we divide that by 2, we get that x is equal to 65 degrees each. That is the angle measure I'm looking for, so I will put therefore, and I'll box my answer. And there we have the solution to this problem. Let's go on to the next one. Number 7 is find the measure of angle x. Now x is kind of in two places. It even doesn't even have any numbers in here. So we're identifying twice x is here and 1x is here. What we have also in our picture is we have these marks here, which means that this triangle here is isosceles. So I'm going to actually outline that in a different color. Let's outline it in red. Okay, this is a red triangle. It is also isosceles. Okay, which means that this angle here is also 2x, but I don't know what it is, so let's label it as A. That's also equal to 2x too. Okay. We also have this yellow triangle has an x in it, so that might help us. It's also isosceles, which means that the two bottom angles we can say as B and C are also equal. Okay, so A is equal to 2x, B equals C. There's a lot of variables in here, so let's see what we can do with them. The first thing that comes to mind, and it might not be the easiest thing, but let's see what we can do. Yep, it's probably the only thing we can do. We need to get this angle right here. If we say that 2x plus angle D equals 180, we can solve for that angle, but it won't get us anywhere because we have a D and an X in it. So we'll have to scratch that idea. There may be something you can do with it. If you find this angle and use angles on a line, you can get to B. But the easiest thing to do is to use external angle, okay? Because it will be the same as finding angles on a line with that one. So we're going to use external angles, which means that we'll go purple here. That this angle here and this angle here added together give you this angle here. Okay, so B is external to A and the two x's. Okay, these are opposite interior angles, and B will equal the sum of that. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to find B, and once we do that, that's going to be 4x. We can know that C is equal to 4x. Okay. And then we have the 4x and the 4x, and then the x to add to 180. Then we're going to use angle sum of triangle. Okay. So here's how all this is going to shape up. Our first step was showing that A was 2x. From base angles of isosceles triangle. Okay. Then we said that B was equal to 2x plus 2x by external angle of triangle. And we have B is equal to now 4x. Now since B and C are base angles of another isosceles triangle, we can say that C is equal to 4x. Sorry about that. There we go. Okay. Once we have that, we can add the 4x plus the 4x plus the top angle x in that yellow triangle, set that equal to 180 from angle sum of triangle. Okay. And then we have 4x, 4x, 6, 8x, and that means 9x is equal to 180. And we divide by 9 on both sides, and x is going to equal 20 degrees. That's what we wanted, so therefore x is equal to 20 degrees. What we have next is number 9. So take a look at number 9 and see if you can make a plan. Okay, so our plan, let's see, what do we got? We'd like to see what's in here. So this angle is 20 degrees. That's 40. Notice that these segments right here are equal because they're marked. We have base angles there. Okay. So with isosceles triangle, this green triangle is isosceles. We can say that this angle here, let's label it as little q, is also equal to 40 degrees. And we can get this, if that's 40, then we can also get this one because they all sum up to 180. This will have to be 100 degrees. This one up here will also have to be 100 degrees from vertical angles. So let's track some of this down. Q equals 40 from base angles. Let's do this little r. Little r equals 100 from angle sum of triangle. And we'll do, I don't know, A. Let's just say this is A is 100 degrees from vertical angles. And then once we have that as 100, we need to find the angle UTR. That's this one here. So we'll mark that in blue. And you find this angle UTR. Okay, that's my blue angle here. Now I have A is 100 degrees. And with the 20 degrees here, we can find this one. Let's do little t. Little t is going to be equal to 60 degrees because that's 100 plus 20 is 120, and 180 minus that is 60. And then from angles, I can use external angles again. I can use angles on a line to get to this one, but let me use external angles. I'm going to show you that this angle is equal to the sum of the opposite interior angles, which is these two right here. Okay, and so that's going to be equal to 120 degrees. So once we find that A is 100, we can use external angles to get angle UTR equal to 120 degrees. Okay, so there's a few things going on there. So let's go ahead and go back and formulate that into teacher solution, where we have statements and reasons. One thing led to another. The first thing that we found was listed here, Q is 40 degrees. Now, if you use letters in the teacher solution, you better have them described or labeled in your figure so I can follow them as I grade. Q is equal to 40 from base angles of isosceles triangle. And then I did 40 degrees plus 40 degrees. So that's this. And R is going to be 180. And that's from angle sum of triangle. Then I know that A was 100 degrees. Check, check, check. Oops, let me go ahead and solve it for this one. So we have 80 degrees plus R equals 180 degrees. R is going to equal, let me subtract that, minus 80 degrees, minus 80 degrees. R is going to equal 100 degrees. Okay. And now that we know, now we're going to say that A is equal to 100 degrees from vertical angles. I ran out of room there, so let me back up a little bit. From vertical angles. Okay, so A is 100. Now we're going to use external angles to get to UTR. So angle UTR is equal to 100 degrees plus 20 degrees. So that was these ones again right here. Equals that one. And then that, so therefore, angle UTR is equal to 120 degrees. So it's all done there. Okay. Number 12 is the last one. Now these ones have circles on them and they always throw students off. But what the circles do is that they just show that this segment right here is equal to this one because they're both radii of circle. Okay, they're both the same radii of this circle. And let's put an A here and a B here to label these points. And so we're going to start out by saying that OA is equal to OB to show that this is an isosceles triangle. The reason is radii of circle. By definition, we can say that the radii of circle are all equal no matter where they are in the circle. Okay, and that means that we can establish that this triangle OAB is isosceles. Okay. By definition of isosceles triangle. Okay. These two statements need to start every problem from 12 on, because they're all circle problems like this. Okay, so once we know that that triangle is isosceles, let's go ahead and label this angle B. We know that that's the same as x. So B is equal to x by base angles. And we can do x plus 42 equals 180 from angle sum. Okay, so I pretty much did the whole proof there, so let's go ahead and formalize it. Okay, the key for these circle ones is just to establish that the triangle in the circle is isosceles. Okay. Okay, let's move on here. So our teacher solution. We have that OA equals OB. The reason is radii of circle. Then we can say that the triangle OAB is isosceles from definition of isosceles triangle. Okay, that's my reason. Now the base angles are what we need to focus on, because we need to use angle sum right here for this one, and this one. Okay, so we're going to say that B is equal to x from base angles of isosceles triangle. Okay, and that x plus 42 degrees is equal to 180 degrees. I can use x now for B, since I established that that was true in the line above, and that's angle sum of triangle. Okay, so we have 2x plus 42 equals 180. Subtract 42 from both sides, and we have 2x is equal to 10 minus 2 is 8, 7 minus 4 is 3, 2x is equal to 138 degrees, divide by 2, divide by 2. X is going to equal 2 into 13 goes 6 times, with 1 left over, 69 degrees. Okay, so that we have our answer there. So here's some example homework problems. Good luck on the homework. Let me know if you have any questions.